Exhaust, oil spills, fertilizers, and other toxins from industry and human waste have critical impacts not only on our fresh water, but also our seas. Every living thing is dependent on it, yet we continue to poison our water. After the stream flooded on my property, I went to seminars and workshops on restoring stream banks because I wanted my stream to be lush again. I learned so much more than just planting. These tutorials reinforced in me the need to be more aware of the toxic results on our water and how our planet's natural filtering system just can't keep up with the years of human abuse. I didn't realize before I attended the seminars, and most of you probably don't realize now, to what extent all of us personally contribute in pouring chemicals into our water. When you do realize, it makes you wonder what everybody's really doing about water pollution. You know, we have made a substantial difference over the years in our roles, and researchers have put a lot of time and resources into it. But chemicals are wreaking havoc from the groundwater to the oceans, and its effects are being felt from plant life to human life. More has to be done, or life as we know it will end. I know you're all familiar with the water cycle, but I want you to picture it. Rain seeping into the earth as it moves into the lakes, streams, and rivers, and it eventually makes its way to the ocean, where the sun heats it up, it evaporates into the atmosphere, and then it causes precipitation again. If you can try to keep that picture in mind while I talk about what all of us do to contribute to polluting, that would be great. We all use and dispose of chemicals every day. And, you know, we don't even realize it most of the time. That shampoo and soap you use, they have chemicals in them. And those chemicals go down the drain, along with the makeup that's on your face or the lotion you put on your body the day before. Then, of course, there's the obvious, like when you spray insecticides or you use chlorine bleach to do your laundry or scrub your toilet. And speaking of toilets, and these are in the words of Janet Rayloff, when she said, where does human waste go? It goes into the septic tank or into wastewater treatment facilities, and along with it, those medications you've taken. We all need to shower and scrub our toilets. So our personal care products, along with the fact that we do need to sanitize some things, will inevitably be deposited into the groundwater. We can individually make a difference. We can lessen the impact of chemical disposal by being aware of what we are using and dispose of these products properly. As I continue, I want to reinforce the impact that human waste has on society. Chemicals in the water are a serious issue. Whether it's personal care products, drugs, or any other form of toxic waste. Sometimes the availability of the proper disposal might be inconvenient, or a lot of you may not realize that there are places that you can drop off old electronics, old syringes, expired medicine, batteries. There's all kinds of things you can do. I recently interviewed Wendy Patapristi. She's an expert on the health of streams and rivers. She pointed out that there are places to bring expired medicine, and they will get disposed of properly. And there's usually some in everybody's county. I also asked her about septic tanks and wastewater treatment facilities, wondering which would be best suited for filtering. And she said that septic tanks were because they have a holding tank, per se, and it allows everything to gradually filter through the earth. And in the wastewater treatment facilities, they actually use chemicals to get rid of the chemicals, which is kind of oxymoron. Pharmaceuticals, though, are a different story. They can't get filtered. And I want to use Wendy's words here when she said, eventually, all the chemicals that are in a septic tank, wastewater treatment plant, or in a landfill will take the water cycle and ultimately end up in our lakes, streams, rivers, and oceans. I asked Wendy if she felt if there was enough research being done on this problem, and she said that universities all over the world are doing research, and that the reason she's here is because of a professor at ASU, Dr. Shea Tuberty. In his research on a local stream, he found that certain times of the year there were estrogen, there was a peak in estrogen levels in the water, which prompted more research in our local streams. Now, if we talk about the impact of personal care products, Wendy said that the Earth could probably handle them alone. But mixed in, these are her words also, mixed in with all other chemicals that not only have been altered, but are put back into the Earth in abundance, is too much for the Earth to filter. Wendy brought up that most of the research has shown that fish are changing gender roles, that the actual anatomy is changing. And every article I read about drugs in the water showed feminizing of fish and harm on all aquatic life. My last point is to quote some facts. I have quite a few quotes here. And to talk about some of the largest negative impacts, which would chemicals from road runoff is a big one. And this is perfectly stated by author Kenneth Weiss from the book Endangered Oceans, when he said, industrial society is overdosing the oceans with basic nutrients. The nitrogen, carbon, iron, and phosphorus compounds that curl out of smokestacks and tailpipes from fertilized lawns and cropland that seep out of septic tanks and gush from sewer pipes wash into the sea. All this polluting brings about climate change, which in turn changes what can survive or not survive. The oceans are our largest bodies of water, making up most of the surface of our planet. And oceans provide some 12% of the world's food supply. Photosynthesis in the ocean provides about half the world's oxygen replenishment, and the ocean plays a crucial role in moderating the global climate. And you can look up any of those facts on the internet. And according to Spencer Weir in his book, The Impacts of Climate Change, increased carbon dioxide levels that come with climate change will affect all biological systems, his words. You know, I was taught in elementary school that the Earth, and especially the oceans, have the ability to bounce back, rejuvenate per se. Well, that might have been the case 50 years ago, but it's really not that way anymore. But my hope is that my words today have made you even more determined to do right by our water. So, in summary, remember the water cycle? Well, remember it a little bit differently. Remember it as the filter cycle. Because when it rains, that washes through dirt and rocks. As it travels on down to the rivers, it goes through bedrock, plants. As it keeps on going to the sea, it travels through more rocks, then salt and agitation, and then back to evaporation. So it's not just a water cycle, it's a filter cycle as well. But all those extra chemicals that humans put in the water are hampering this filtering system. And then, you know, it's causing havoc on the food chain. Some things are dying, and some things are thriving to the ills. All life, including human, is dependent on the food chain, which is dependent on water. We need to follow through with our research and act on it. So, in conclusion, We need to find a way to make all people see that they can make a difference in what's happening to our plant life, our fish, our animals, our climate, and life as we know it, and stop polluting the waters. All of us need to go out of our way to dispose of our products properly. And we have to lose the attitude of out of sight, out of mind. Remember, small things done on an individual basis, implemented by the masses, make a huge difference. You know, if we don't find a solution to the chemical disposal now, in the future, it will create noxious results for society. Our Earth is perfect for us. We do not have an alternative planet to go to. So we need to take care of this beautiful place we call home and show it some respect.